As we enter the holiday season and see that the chaos that Satan is bringing upon the world, let us pray. I now come forward in humility to covenant with Yah. I further covenant to remember to regularly commune with him through prayer, to turn away from sin and error, to rear my family in righteousness, in patience, love, and kindness, to discern and sustain the law, and to perform my several duties properly, punctually, and to the utmost. Now, if Yah shall please to hear us, and inasmuch as we honor this covenant, then shall his bounty be poured down upon us, as has never been seen. We humbly implore and beg his protection and favor, that we may experience his everlasting peace and concord, that our own sins, those of our family, those of our nation may be pardoned, that the disunity in our country and suffering may be healed, that once again our family shall delight in each other, and we shall rejoice together, mourn together, and increase together. Yah delights to dwell among our families so that we partake of his wisdom, power, goodness, and truth. Love and solidarity shall reign within our households. May our nation unite in rendering unto him our sincere and humble thanks for his kind care, for his protection, that he may promote the knowledge and practice of true religion and virtue. He shall grant unto this nation temporal prosperity as he alone knows to be best. No human counsel hath devised, nor hath any mortal hand created this great nation. It is the gracious gift of the Most High. Only his tender care shall heal this nation's wounds. He will raise it to the full enjoyment of peace, harmony, tranquility, union, and plenty. He has made us a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us. We enlist his almighty hand that we may once again choose life, that we and our seed may live by obeying his voice and cleaving to him. He is our life and our prosperity. May my family and this country ever stand in solemn testimony of the Most High. Amen. This prayer is 400 years old. It was said by the Pilgrims as they covenanted to make their lives in a new world. We continue with Matthew chapter 16. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees drew near, tempting him and asking him a sign from Shamayim to show them. But he answered and said to them, when it becomes evening, you say, it is clear, for the sky is red. And in the morning you say, today it is winter, for the sky is a gloomy red. Hypocrites, you know how to observe the appearance of the sky. The signs of this time you do not know how to discern. An evil and adulterous generation requests a sign, and a sign will not be given to it except the sign of Yonan the prophet. And he left them and departed. And when his disciples came to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread with them. But he said to them, watch and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And they were reasoning among themselves and saying, it is because they had not taken the bread. But Yeshua knew and said to them, what are you thinking among yourselves, O you of little faith, that it is because you did not bring the bread? Still you do not understand, nor do you recall those 5 loaves of bread for the 5,000, and how many baskets you took up. nor those 7 loaves of bread for the 4,000, and how many baskets you took up. How is it that you do not understand that it was not about bread that I spoke to you, but that you should be aware of the leaven of the Pharisees and Sadducees? The leaven of the Pharisees and Sadducees, doctrines of men. Then they understood that he did not say to be aware of the leaven of bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and Sadducees. And I would say any other church that doctrines these days. Okay. And when Yeshua came to the region of Caesarea of Philippi, he was asking his disciples and said, "Concerning me, who do men say that I am? Merely a son of man?" And they said, "Some say Yochanan the Immerser, but others Eliyahu, and others Yirmeyahu." So that Eliyahu is Elijah, and Yirmeyahu is Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Shimon Kepha, which is Peter, said, "You are Mashiach, the son of the living Elohim." Yeshua answered him and said, "Blessed are you, Shimon, son of Yonah, because flesh and blood have not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven." So Peter confesses that Yeshua is the son of the living Elohim. Verse 18, "I say also to you that you are Kepha, and on this Kepha I will build my assembly, and the gates of Sheol will not subdue it. To you I will give the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and anything that you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and all things that you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." So 163, this is a wordplay between Kepha the man and what his nickname means. Yeshua uses Kepha's name to reveal the significance of Kepha's conclusion. Neither flesh nor blood, an individual can reveal the nature of Mashiach except Yahweh himself by the Ruach HaKodesh. Using the literal meaning of Kepha's name, rock, Yeshua brings together the understanding of the Tzur, rock, of Devarim or Deuteronomy 32, 18, 30, 31, Psalm 18:46, Psalm 61 and 62, Isaiah 8:14, 17:10, 51, 1 through 8. When Shimon Kepha says, "You are the Mashiach, the son of the living Elohim," he confesses faith in Mashiach, not the person only, but the spirit of Mashiach in Yeshua. Yeshua's reply provides Kepha the same reference that David and the prophets had regarding Yahweh's salvation, the rock. However, this verse was twisted by Catholicism to give Peter authority, then usurp Peter's authority for its leader. Yaakov, Jacob, was the first Rosh Beit Din of the Netzari, not Peter, the head of the high court. Paganism makes the physical persons of Yeshua, Maryam, Peter, and others into deity-like icons, very contrary to Torah and Mashiach. See also 1 Corinthians 10:4. So let's just look at Deuteronomy 32, the Song of Moses. "Give ear, heavens, and I will speak, and hear earth the words of my mouth. Let drop as the rain my teaching, distill as the dew my speech, as raindrops on the tender herb, and as showers on the grass. For the name of Yahweh I proclaim, ascribe greatness to our Eloheinu, our Elohim. He is rock perfect. His work is for all. His ways are justice, ale of truth and without injustice. Righteous and upright he is." They have corrupted themselves, not his children they are, because of their blemish, a generation perverse and crooked. Perverse. Unsavory. Heart shall depart. He who has a crooked mind. Do to Yahweh, you do this, O people, and foolish, unwise. Is not he your father who brought you? He has not made you and established you. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of and many generations. Ask your father, and he will show you, your elders, and they will tell you. When divided their inheritance to the Most High, the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the sons of Yisrael. That's Jacob's name, Israel. For portion of Yahweh, his people, Jacob is the place of his inheritance. He found him in a land desert, and in the wasteland howling, a wilderness. He encircled him, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirs up its nest over its young, hovers, spreading out its wings, carrying them, taking them up on its wings. So Yahweh alone led him, and there was no with him, ale, foreign, no foreign ale with him. He made him ride in the heights of the earth, that he might eat the produce of the fields, and he made him draw honey from the rock and oil from flinty, the rock. Herds from the cattle and milk of the flock, with fat of lambs and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the choicest wheat, and the blood of the grapes you drank wine. Isn't that interesting, the connection between wine and blood of the grapes? And when we have communion with wine and unleavened bread, that is representing the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach. But grew fat Yereshun and kicked. You grew fat, you grew thick, you are obese. And he forsook El Ohai, who made him, and esteemed scornfully the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with foreign and with abominations, that they provoked him to anger. They sacrificed to demons, Shadaim, not to Elohim, not they did know, to new Chadashim. Let's look at that. War. So just because something is new doesn't mean it's right. Arrivals not that did fear your fathers. Of the rock who brought you forth, you are mindful, and have forgotten El who gave you birth. And when saw it Yahweh, and he spurned them because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what will be to their end. For a generation perverse they are, children no faithfulness, in whom they have provoked me to jealousy by not what is El. They have moved me to anger by their foolish idols. Think about modern idols that are everywhere. So I will provoke them to jealousy by not those who are a nation foolish. I will move them to anger. For a fire is kindled by my anger and shall burn to the hell, Sheol, the lowest level of hell. And it shall consume the earth with her increase and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Foundations of the mountains. Think about that. You can't even get to the foundation, so buried. But El can, Yahweh can. I will heap upon them disasters. My arrows I will spend on them. They shall be wasted with hunger and devoured by pestilence and destruction, bitter, and the teeth of beasts I will send against them with the poison of serpents of the dust. Sounds like what's coming our way. Outside shall destroy the sword, and within there shall be terror for the young man and virgin, the nursing child with the man of gray hairs. There shall be terror. That sounds like October 7th. Terror great, darkness, inside, without. Snorting. Around his teeth there is terror. I would have said, I will dash them in pieces to cease from among men. I will make the memory of them, not the wrath of the enemy had I feared, lest should misunderstand, lest their adversaries they should say, our hand is high, and it is not Yahweh who has done this, all this. For a nation void of counsel they are, and there is not in them understanding. Look what's happened to the justice system of the United States. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How could chase one 1,000 and two put to flight 10,000, except not unless their rock had sold them and Yahweh had surrendered them? Or not like our rock, their rock is, and even our enemies themselves being judges. This is all inviting us to repent and pray for forgiveness to the Most High. For the vine of Sodom their vine is, and of the fields of Gomorrah their grapes are grapes of gall, clusters bitter there, gall. Poison. The poison of serpents their wine is, and the venom of cobras cruel. Is not that laid up in store with me, sealed up among my treasures? Vengeance is mine, and recompense in time shall slip their foot, for is at hand the day of their calamity, and hasten the things to come upon them. For will judge Yahweh his people, and on his servants have compassion when he sees that is gone their power, and there is no one remaining, bond or free. And he will say, where are their Elohim, the rock they sought refuge, in which who the fat of their sacrifices ate and drank? Now their sacrifices here, in this context, it's the only word, and I believe that that is connected to child sacrifice during the years of Roe v. Wade. The wine of their drink offering, let them rise and help you and be your refuge. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no Elohim besides me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal, and there is none from my hand who can deliver. For I lift up to Shamayim my hand and say, as I live forever, if I wet my glittering sword and takes hold on judgment my hand, I will render vengeance to my enemies, and those who hate me repay. I will make drunk my arrows with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh with the blood of the slain and the captives from the heads of the leaders of the enemy. Rejoice, Gentiles, with his people, for the blood of his servants he will avenge, and vengeance render to his adversaries, and he will provide atonement, which can also be thought of at one-ment, when you're at one, for his land and his people. So came with Moshe, and spoke all the words of song this in the hearing of the people, he and Hosea, Joshua, son of Nun, and finished Moses speaking all words these to all Israel. And he said to them, set your hearts on all the words which I testify among you today, which you shall command your children to be careful to observe all the words of law this. For not a thing futile it is for you, because it is your life, and by word this you shall prolong your days in the land which you cross over the Jordan to possess. And spoke Yahweh to Moses the same day, this saying, go up into mountain of the Abarim, this Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that across from Jericho, and view the land of Canaan, which I give to the sons of Israel as a possession. And so on the mountain which you ascend there and be gathered to your people, just as died Aaron your brother on Mount Hor, and was gathered to his people. Upon that you trespassed against me among the sons of Israel at the waters of Meribah. This is Moses' sin of striking the rock instead of talking to the rock. And by that, he gave the impression that he was the one bringing forth the water rather than the water coming from Yahweh. Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because that not you treated as holy me in the midst of the sons of Israel. So for anyone who is a leader, it is very important to behave in a manner that doesn't upset the confidence of the people you are leading. Yet before you shall see the land, and though there not, you shall go into the land which I am giving to the sons of Israel. 164. Binding and loosing refers to the application of Torah, halakha, what is prohibited, obligated, bound, what is allowed or loosed within a Torah infrastructure. Acts 15, 28, 29 is an example of binding and loosing. The matter of circumcision was being implied commensurate to immediate need as directed by the Ruach HaKodesh. Instead of performing the act of circumcision before learning Torah, new converts are required to learn and apply Torah first, and then when they have a good understanding, they are circumcised, but not the other way around. The keys to the kingdom are wisdom and discernment. Isn't that beautiful? Can we learn wisdom and discernment given by the Ruach HaKodesh to apply the word of Yahweh? So when it's given by the Ruach HaKodesh, that means it comes upon us and changes us internally. It redirects us to Elohim. Verse 20, then he commanded his disciples that they should not say to men that he was the Mashiach. And from that time onwards, Yeshua began to make known to his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer much from the elders and from the chief priests and scribes, and he would be killed, and on the third day would rise up. But Kepha took him and began to rebuke him and said, far be it from you, my master, that this should happen to you. But he turned and said to Kepha, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me because you did not think of Elohim, rather of the sons of men." So the adversary is waiting for his opportunity, and he got into Kepha. So how easily can it get into us? The confession of Yeshua being the son of Yah is the rock. That's where Yeshua tells of his future. Verse 24, then Yeshua said to his disciples, "He who wishes to follow after me, let him deny himself and take up his staff and follow after me. He who desires to save his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it. For what does it profit a man if he gains all the world and loses his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul?" Wow. How many people have just given up their soul? 27, for it is necessary for the Son of Man to come in the glory of his Father. And then with his set apart messengers, he will reward each man according to his work. Truly, I say to you that there are men who are standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man come in his kingdom. Rewards according to work, not what he says. Okay, instead of glory of his Father, if we look at the Aramaic, I see the word here, Malachuhi Kadisheh. So let's use Kadosh instead of glory.